I feel like we're besties now after this. What's up, guys? It's Denise Salcedo. Hey, we are back here on Speak Now Pro Wrestling. It is Wednesday nights, and you know what that means. We are here to chat about AEW Dynamite. Now, here's the thing. This was kind of a whirlwind episode. We got some really big stuff that are going down here tonight. So, of course, the second that I saw this man's tweet, I'm like, I got to bring him on the show because we've got none other than Righteous Reg here in the house. Reg, man, how's it going?
It's going great, Denise. Thanks for having me. Very impactful episode of Dynamite here tonight. A lot of things we liked and some things we didn't like.
Oh, I already kind of know the things that you didn't like, and I can't wait to hear your thoughts about that. But we are going to go ahead and get into the show and some of the big things that occurred that included a confrontation between MJF and Adam Cole, a killer, phenomenal match between Orange Cassidy and Swerve Strickland, and a killer main event that involved Jay White and Ricky Starks. But just a heads up to everybody that's here, please go and send in super chats at any point throughout the show. If you do, they will be read here on the stream. Your hot takes, your cold takes, your opinions, whatever it is, you're more than welcome to send them in here on the show. Not only does it get whatever it is that you have to say read here, but also it helps support me, helps support this podcast, helps me bring in cool guests like Reg so that I can give them a little bit of cash for taking their time to come on here to the podcast. So yes, all super chats definitely count a whole lot. But we got our first one here today from James Hammond, who says, can't use a gun without bullets. Get the joke?
This is where we're starting with this. I am already off. Come on, you guys.
That's perfect. You know what? Today's that day, though. I posted this really stupid tweet, by the way. Today's like stupid tweet day for stupid tweet day for me is every day, by the way. And you know how we got the hung bucks today? I tweeted out I just Googled hanging dollar bills. And then put an image of like just like $100 bills being hung, and I'm like, humbugs. Really stupid stuff, but hey, it's a play on words.
If it's there, grab it, take it, throw it out there. That's it.
James Hammond, thank you so much for sending in that super chat and getting the podcast party started. So let's get right into it because we got numerous topics to talk about. Reg, I want to kick things off with AEW Collision because we are officially 10 days away from this brand new show starting June 17th. And today, Tony Khan officially made the announcement of what the main event is going to be. The main event is going to be Jay White teaming up with Juice Robinson and Samoa Joe to take on the team of FTR and, you guessed it, CM Punk, who is making his return to the company after all the drama. So, Reg, first and foremost, what did you think of this announcement? What do you think of the match itself?
It's a lot to take in. It's very shocking. I had heard some rumors. We had heard some rumors. Everybody had heard some rumors that potentially this first match could be CM Punk facing off against Samoa Joe. Then we started hearing these rumors about Jay White being of interest to CM Punk. And then they go in and announce this match. This is pretty insane. You know, we thought that FTR would be involved with Collision too because they're CM Punk, they're friends and all this. But for them to announce this big match with all these people involved, we're going to see CM Punk come back in a match where he's on the other side of the ring against Samoa Joe and Jay White and Juice Robinson. You know, not for nothing. That's just crazy. That's like an amazing way to start Collision and to be in Chicago too, Denise. Come on.
I know. And you mentioned all of these big names, and already I'm thinking, CM Punk, Samoa Joe? Hell yeah. CM Punk, Jay White, even more of a hell yeah. And it's interesting here because one of the topics that we've been talking about, Reg, is what to expect from the crowd. Now, we know in Chicago, we're all expecting for the majority of the audience to be going crazy for CM Punk. I'm not expecting CM Punk to be booed here. And to me, putting Jay White, who is a really great heel, one of the best heels in professional wrestling, I kind of feel like that's AEW kind of making sure that CM Punk does get cheered.
Great points are being made here because the Samoa Joe one-on-one match would have been interesting because Samoa Joe, he's kind of both. Like, people really like him and he could get you to hate him too, but it's Joe, man. That was just going to be it would have been a bigger just like cheering moment, I feel, for the match. And Jay White's going to come in and add some heat because you know he's going to say some things to get CM Punk off. People are probably going to talk a little bit before this match starts. I think this was probably what you're saying, why you're saying it is the best move that they made, making this a 6-man match.
I think so too. I feel like it's going to maybe, and here's the thing, like, again, it's Chicago, and I think most of us are expecting cheers, but what's going to happen the weeks after? How are people going to react?
Canada's going to be super interesting because they're pretty smart up there, I feel, for the most part, and they could take this as, we hate this guy. He messed up with our, our God, Kenny Omega. He's from here. He got Kenny taken away from us for a moment. He could be one of the most hated men in the building, and Canada will let you know. So it's going to be interesting. I'm more interested in the crowd there because we know Chicago's going to be lit. My podcast co-host is so excited already. I know it's lit out there in Chicago, but when they get to Canada, Kenny Omega territory, Chris Jericho territory, whew, that's the interesting part.
I know, and what's funny is that I didn't even think about that right now until you mentioned it, where it's like, Kenny Omega, Chris Jericho. Who does CM Punk have problems with? Kenny Omega, Chris Jericho, to name a few.
Be tough.
Oh my God. I think
like the next week after that too, right? Like he gets the big Chicago thing, and then the next week it could be like, whoa.
It's going to be so weird, Reg, because we went into a world where not too long ago, CM Punk was coming into AEW, making his grand debut. Everybody was going goo goo gaga. Oh my God, this and that. And, the guy had 2 championship runs that were brief, but they were still count as 2. And to go from a place where we're cheering for this man, he's giving us ice cream, to a place where you don't know what the reaction is going to be.
He might have ice cream again, Denise. We don't know yet.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. And also I'll pose this question to the chat. If you hate CM Punk and he gives you ice cream, are you going to cheer for him instead?
Listen, ice cream is involved. I'm going to cheer the guy that got me the ice cream. Who's going to boo somebody that gives them ice cream? Thanks. I hate you. Thanks for this great ice cream. I don't know. People are weird, though. I understand. Depends on what kind of ice cream it is also. People could be allergic. They need vegan ice cream. They like gelato. They like sorbet. I don't know. It could be anything.
That's true, right? I love how you're like, hey, they could be like vegan or something.
I don't know.
How dare you, CM Punk, not give me vegan ice cream?
Exactly.
I did try the ice cream that he was, the popsicles that he was giving out in Chicago. I think it was for All Out was when I had it or something. And it was not bad. And I'm not really that big of a fan of that style of ice cream, but I still enjoyed it. I thought the chocolate, the outer layer was really good.
Now, did it make you want to cheer him more after you ate the ice cream?
Well, let me tell you, Reg, I'm already a really big fan of CM Punk, and I'm one of those people that are still excited to see what's going to happen with CM Punk in AEW. Are you that person, or are you not?
I'm super excited about this. I never thought, even after all the drama, I've been pitching on my podcast everywhere. They're like, oh, it's just a fight. You guys relax. What's going on here? Still 100% this guy. We remember what was happening when he was here. We were having great promos, super fun matches, great, amazing angles all around. Like, he just made the show better, brought a different energy here. And I'm ready to see it back. And if we're going to be getting all that energy we've been getting from him on Collision, let's get Collision started. 10 days. Let's go. I'm all in.
What are you expecting from Collision? As a fan, what do you want to see happen on the show? Or what do you want to see on Collision?
Kind of pretty much what they're pitching in the little trailers for it. All these people that we haven't seen over here. We got Miro, we got Scorpio Sky, we got Andrade, we got Punk, we got Thunder Rosa. Like, these people that have kind of been on the limbo, we don't know too much about. When we talk on all of our podcasts, Denise, your chats and everything have been filled like, where's Miro at? Where's Andrade? Like, we hear that every single week. So the people that they're saying, where are these people? I just want to see them be able to get a chance to shine out here and kind of ride that wave that CM Punk's about to bring over here.
Man, it's going to be a good time. I do have one more question for you, and I don't know if this is maybe a good question, but do we expect CM Punk to turn heel during this match? Because again, like we mentioned, Jay White is a great heel. So are they going to turn him heel here? Or are they going to wait till when he's not in Chicago? What are you expecting?
I think Chicago, there's no way Chicago's going to ever boo him, no matter what he does. Even if he tries to go heel right there, they're going to be like, nah, we love you. We don't care. It doesn't matter. He has to turn heel, I think, is where we're landing on this, because just the energy around him feels like this is a natural progression into being heel. I think they just got to milk it for a couple weeks. They'll see what happens in Canada. If Canada's going nuts, like, right, the next week after that, I think they might be in Canada again. Do it then. Like, we don't have to milk this. The crowds are going to let you know pretty immediately what's going on here.
And also, I think, and I'm not sure, but I think we have AEW up in the house here today.
Wow.
What's up? All right. And we got so many more comments in here that are rolling in. Exactly. The cha-ching. We got Grapple Geekery who sends in a super chat saying, everyone, the Jericho and Adam Cole feud isn't going to last for months.
Look
Holy
at that.
shit.
Look at that. That's a new precedent being set. We didn't even hear about Jericho. I don't know where he was at today. Let's celebrate, you guys.
I remember that day at
Hip,
Double or Nothing, by the way. You were sitting a row behind me, and I just remember turning to you and Phil and was like, man, what'd you guys think of that match? I'm kind of glad that this was over and done with. Now, don't get me wrong. I loved Jericho Roderick Strong, but I did not love Jericho Adam Cole, unfortunately.
And that's what's crazy about it, Denise, is Jericho this year has had a lot of fun matches, and the run that he had as a Ring of Honor champion when he's taking on Bandito, he's doing all these things. I think he was doing a lot of fun stuff, but that Adam Cole match just was not at all. Kind of an unfortunate way for Adam Cole to be transitioning to his next feud. Like, that's kind of how you ended it. I guess the tag match that they had last week kind of made up for it. So, yeah. We're out of the Jericho vortex. Shout out to Adam Cole for being the shortest in probably history at this point.
But we're going to enter into a whole new Jericho vortex. It's just a matter of who.
Yes, exactly.
Taylor Cannon, who also is a YouTube member, shout out to Taylor, sends in a super chat saying, hey, Reg, I gotta say, I really enjoyed the show. Cassidy versus Swerve was a banger. The Cole and MJF mic battle was good too. We have Bo Booth who says, boo CM Punk, I'm a froyo guy.
See, exactly. The froyo people aren't represented. They're like, I don't care about this ice cream. I don't want this.
You know what, though? I'm also kind of consider myself more of a froyo person than an ice cream person. So I do kind of agree here with Bo Booth.
CM Punk froyo, dude, get on it. Get the marketing team. Somebody tell Tony Khan.
Andrew Cool sends in a super chat saying, I hope it's not like SmackDown 2011 through 2016 where they do a promo to book a random tag team match and also do not do recaps from Dynamite there. No point. I think because it is, the first episode, it's a matter of like wait and see, give them a second to like start building these feuds. So I get it. There's really no real reason as to why we're getting this, the 6-person tag. But at the same time, it's like, okay, it's the first show.
Yeah, do you think, would you prefer that kind of method of Dynamite and Collision being like totally separate shows? They're not even mentioning like, this is like another island of things over here. Or would you kind of prefer them to have a little bit of mixing up here and there?
I would say a mix because you do kind of see a little bit of a mix on Rampage, but I think that's part of the reason that has kind of hurt Rampage, where even though there is a little bit of, this is what's going on Dynamite, for example, like on Rampage, we're going to get that 4-way and whoever wins that is going to go on to face Tony Storm at Dynamite next week. Things like that I do like, but I don't like when we just basically have these soul only storylines on Rampage that and then all of a sudden randomly on Dynamite, they're appearing and I'm like, well, if I haven't been watching Rampage, I don't know what's going on. So I want to see Dynamite and Collision be its own thing, but not acting like the other doesn't exist. If it calls for them to do something that follows up something that happened on Dynamite, I'm totally cool with that. But then again, Reg, I guess that goes into, the rumors and the reports about whether or not we're going to be seeing this brand split. And we still don't really have much information about that.
Not really. And the interesting thing about this Collision thing is what we talked about, Phil and I talked about this past weekend, is the Dynamite immediately after that is also in Chicago. And is CM Punk not going to be on this Chicago show too because he's exclusive to Collision or whatever's going on and people got to be separate? What's going to happen there? We immediately are running into one of these conflicts or whatever you want to call it like a few days later, which is going to be great to see,
Like, I want to see CM Punk on Dynamite. Point blank, I want to see that.
Exactly. So, what do they do? I don't know. What do they do?
And what's going to happen for pay-per-views? We still don't know. So many questions.
lose.
Roberto Arsenal sends in a super chat saying, I think CM Punk will wrestle Tanahashi at Forbidden Door. It was supposed to go down last year, but he got hurt. Good Dynamite today. Good NBA Finals too. I don't know what the plan is going to be for CM Punk at Forbidden Door. You mentioned that Tanahashi match, and of course, I don't think anybody here would not want to see that. Is there anybody, though, that you would be like, oh, I would prefer this person over Tanahashi? Although, who would prefer anybody over Tanahashi? Because Tanahashi's the ace.
Yeah, I think Tanahashi's going to represent a good thing for that. But, I mean, I think all the CM Punk match we want to see is with Kenta, because they've been building for this match for legit years and years. Since CM Punk hit his first go to sleep in WWE, Kenta was like, hey, yo, that's mine. So, like, let's just do this match already, you guys. We got it here. Kenta's hot. CM Punk's going to come back. That's a great match that you already have backstory with. Let's do it.
Amir F sends in a super chat saying, another thing, Collision is in Newark, New Jersey on July 22nd, where they chanted FCM Punk at Full Gear. I had forgotten about that.
Right. Yeah, the Collision shows are going to be interesting. We're going to see quickly how the crowds feel, because it's a big mix. Like the Chicago one's going to be something, but then after that, they get into Jersey, they get into Canada, they get into all these different places that aren't immediately fond of this guy. But if we're going full heel, it's going to be great heat, I think, at the end of the day. So,
hey, at the end of the day, it's all about that heat. It depends on who you're asking, right?
Right.
Taylor Cannon sends in a super chat saying, hey, Denise and Reg, tonight was a good show. I think she might have sent I think you might have sent the super chat twice, but she says, Swerve versus Orange Cassidy was a banger. The mic battle between Cole and MJF was a banger too. Oh, and Chicago is going to be lit for CM Punk. Thank you so much to Taylor for sending in the super chat. We much appreciate it. Sheldon Jackson says, my concern with Collision is the fact that once CFB. Oh, okay. The Canadian football or college football. College football. Oh man, yeah. I was thinking Canadian.
Nobody be watching Canadian football.
My husband watches Canadian football, so it's like in my brain. But that's the CFL, right? The CFL.
Yeah. College football.
In my mind, I was like, because I saw NFL and I saw CFB, and I'm like, oh, that's Canadian.
Yeah, don't nobody be watching Canadian football. Sorry, you guys.
Okay, so Sheldon Jackson says, my concern with Collision is the fact that when CFB and the NFL kicks off again, I wonder how they'll do with either attendance or ratings on Saturday.
True.
And I know that Tony Khan mentioned somewhere in one of these interviews or these press conferences that they're kind of basing it along the lines of, what they have done with Battle of the Bouts and any of the events that they've had on Saturdays. And that's what they're kind of using as a comparison for the ratings and whatnot. I have a feeling that the first early episodes are really going to be strong, especially this first one, considering that CM Punk's coming back. But everything after that, I do think is going to be a little bit of a question mark, Yeah.
I mean, it's Saturday. I think people are going to eventually watch it anyways, but I don't know if there are going to be a lot of people tuning in live. They're going to have competition like pretty much every Saturday with UFC and football and basketball when it comes, like all these things that are going to be happening on Saturday nights. But I mean, wrestling is wrestling, and I'm going to be watching it, and the people that are expected to tune in to watch it are going to watch it. So I don't get really too into the ratings and all that, because like Warner Brothers was like, we want this show, bro. Here's money for it. Like, they know what's going to go on here. They don't expect it to come in and start doing 2 million viewers. I don't think they expect it to do Rampage numbers. I think they expect it to do better than Rampage numbers. And that's really all that's going to be needed here.
Exactly. And I kind of feel like now with Collision, though, I will say this, though, now with Collision, I kind of don't really feel the need to watch Rampage. True. And I don't know if that's just me, but I don't know. I can't help but to have that feeling.
That's unfortunate, because I think a lot of people feel how you feel. It already was like I'll watch Rampage. Like they had the big Rampage last week we're all excited for. But I don't know if every single week people are like, I'm going to tune into Rampage. And it's going to be exactly what you said. I think people are going to want to tune in even less, and especially because they're back-to-back nights. Rampage is Friday, and then Collision is going to be Saturday. That's just hard for a lot of people. They're going to choose.
Yeah, I agree. Johnny sends in a super chat saying MJF versus Adam Cole with RVD as a referee. Hey, we had randomly Sabu, so why can't we have RVD, man?
Okay.
Well, so shout out to brand new YouTube member Stuart James and also Corey MacArthur. You guys rock. Thank you so much for joining the DWO. Melissa Cabello sends in a super chat saying the Elite and CM Punk need to man up, shake hands, and do what's best for AEW. Reg, let me ask you a question. undefeated. You got in a fight with whoever your enemy is, whoever your enemy, you got in a fight, and there was an opportunity to, I don't know, do something with this person, some sort of work collaboration, and you were guaranteed that you would make, I don't know, $1 million. Would you or would you not collaborate with your enemy?
If in the guise of pro wrestling, which I know and have been around for a lot of years, I know how the backstage area works. I know how these wrestlers' brains work. I know how these things are. People do hold grudges, but people then also don't hold grudges. I think in this specific case, I think what's going to happen here is CM Punk's going to come back. He's going to start having a lot of fun. They're going to be having a great time over there on Collision. And I think the guys are going to eventually be like, man, what are we doing here? Because people are going to be clamoring for these matches, for this maybe the CM Punk and FTR against Kenny and the Bucks, or Hangman and the Bucks, or whatever kind of combination here. They're going to be clamoring for this immediately off rip. The people that know about what happened at Brawl Out are going to be kind of expecting maybe some on TV resolution. There might never be, but there's going to be a section of fans that are like, oh, hey, what happened there? Maybe we can solve it here on TV. So, I mean, if it were me, I'd shake hands, but I wasn't in there. My dog didn't get punched. My friend didn't bite somebody. I don't know.
You're like, I was in bed during this brawl.
I'm saying. There's a lot going on. I wasn't there.
Hey, man, and it's someone's dog, all right? Well, technically it was CM Punk's dog, but, it's just like, man, things got very ugly. Ryan Pregler sends in a super chat saying, what if Punk joins the Bullet Club? In addition to him turning heel, it would add more fuel to the fire of a feud with the Elite. Fans would hate it. I don't know how I would feel about that. I think hate would definitely be a strong word, but I don't know if that's something that would happen.
No, I'm not that interested in that. I think him going against those guys is better than him joining Bullet Club. CM Punk doesn't need any of that. Like, it get a lot of heat, and I don't think he's going to be in new. I don't know. I'm not into it. I like him against them.
Alrighty, and we got another super chat here from Heidi Ho, who says, I started losing interest in AEW during the build to the first Forbidden Door, and it's been a struggle trying to get it back, but I understand I'm not the target audience, and I'm glad others enjoy it. I feel like there was a couple weeks, maybe like a couple weeks ago, where I kind of felt we got a couple of Dynamites that weren't so great, but here's the thing, though, is that I do feel like whenever you have like a bad week, they're cognizant of that, and they pick up right after that, like immediately where we left off. And I know that Tony in the Double or Nothing media scrum kind of spoke about having, some high hopes for the for AEW summer of 2023, and kind of talking about getting those ratings back up. And based on, the Collision stuff, based on we're going into Forbidden Door, which we're going to talk about in just a second, I feel like that really gives AEW a lot to play with to kind of get things going once again for them.
I do understand what this person is saying here, because they are going into a very hardcore summer. Like, fans like me, I'm like, hey, yo, Okada and Bryan Danielson are wrestling. I don't care about anything else in the world. That's amazing. That's the greatest thing I've ever seen. I don't need nothing. Just put the match on. Let's go. And there's going to be a lot of things that are for me. And I'm so happy that finally, see, people be saying I'm shilling for AEW. It's because they give me what I want, big dog. If you give me what I've been wanting for years, cater to, remember they said in that press release with WB was like, you guys cater to hardcores and we like that shit. They cater to hardcores and they're going to continue to cater to them. Hardcores like me, I'm so excited about Forbidden Door. I'm super excited about All In, All Out. Seeing CM Punk, seeing these matches, like, because they're going to just start rattling off these CM Punk matches, I feel like, back to back. Like, the week after, we'll get another dream match. A week after that, we'll get another dream match. We're going to get a lot of them, and a lot of them are not going to be build up with stories or anything. It's just going to be CM Punk's back. We want to see this guy wrestle all the best wrestlers in the world, and it's going to be fun.
Yeah, and I like that you mentioned that, seeing these different matchups, that some of them may not have, these built-in storylines, but there are some of the things that I do like that AEW does a whole lot of is put together these random, fresh matchups that so many of us didn't think we were actually going to see. And I think that's something to definitely, be excited about. Corey McCarthy, the brand new YouTube member, says, hello, Denise. Yes, new member. Appreciate your passion and love for pro wrestling. Hello, Reggie, as well. I feel weird calling you Reggie, but he said Reggie on here. I was like, oh,
it's my name. It's my name.
I'm so used to just calling you Reg that calling you Reggie sounds weird.
It's all good. That's my name. People call me that.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to re-say that. Hello, Reg, as well. Look forward to Cole versus MJF. I'm sorry, I can't call you Reggie.
So
It
funny.
felt weird as I was saying it.
Even in your face, you're like Reggie, and you're like maybe forgot for a second who you're talking about. Like, no, that's me.
I think because like here you like in my mind sometimes I forget I know so stupid, right? But sometimes I forget that people's names are like short for something or this and that. I remember my friend had a boyfriend and she would call him Bob all the time and I would be like, oh my God, his name is Bob? Like I thought it was just Bob without realizing it was Robert.
Robert, yeah, no one's just named Bob. That's pretty rare. But like my full name is Reginald, so like Reginald, Reg, Reggie, like I could be any of those. Like double R, I'm me. It's me. It's the guy. So it's fine.
And I only knew, by the way, that it was Reginald because of like when I was like sending you cash for the past shows that we've done together. I was like, oh, Reg stands for Reginald.
My government name's just on display right there for everybody to see.
I forget that people got government names, man.
You see? That's why I wanted to be Righteous Reg, so people didn't know my government name and they couldn't be finding out crazy stuff that crazy people do. I mean, they can regardless because they're insane. But I'm going to give them a little bit of fences and things to jump over to get to it. Some hoops.
Hey, if they jump through the hoops, they earned it, right?
Exactly. You see.
Steven Marchuli says Brian versus Punk needs to happen. I'm on board with that. Jake Salazar sends in a super chat saying many men wish death upon me.
There you go.
Blood in my eye, dog, and I can't see. I'm trying to be what I'm destined to be. Come on, Reg. Them guns, then gums and gums. I can't talk anymore. In BCG, let's go, baby.
Jake,
what's going on here?
Out of here. You got Denise caught up in this mess with this stuff and these guns. Leave it, brother. Now that's hilarious, though. You had Denise rapping these Many Men lyrics. She didn't know what she was getting into. She thought she was just reading a super chat, and you just got her all flustered. It's amazing content, and I appreciate you, but also I hate you.
I was like, am I reading a promo that I don't remember? Am I reading a song here? And someone talking smack to Reg? Am I reading a hate tweet? What's happening?
It's perfect.
Thank you very much, Jake Salazar, for that. Taylor Cannon says, I want to see Punk versus Cole like a lot. And Jake Salazar says, my guy, Reg, real talk, speak your sources. We need Naito. Speak to your sources. We need Naito and Orange Cassidy at Forbidden Door.
Would be high. I don't know, because at the press conference, Orange Cassidy was talking about Zack Sabre Jr. I don't know which way they're going to go here, but we've been craving this Naito and Orange Cassidy match for a long time, and it would be very hot. So either one of those matches, whatever they're doing with Orange is on a revolutionary, crazy generational run, which we're going to get into very soon here. So yeah, that match would be amazing.
And we got one from Bo Booth that says, oh my God, I thought it was Regis, like Regis and Phil.
You thought that was my full name? Regis?
The only Regis I know is from Regis and Kelly.
Yeah, that's it. That's hilarious. Okay. Regis. That's so funny.
All right. So let's get into the topic that made me say I need to get Reg on this show. Because what we got here was a very, very steamy, hot, back and forth promo war between Adam Cole and MJF. So let's break down what happened here. There's a whole lot, so I'm going to summarize it as quickly as possible. But MJF goes out there. He does his usual bit where he's burying Colorado, and he basically says that there's no competition here for him. This was something he also told Tony Khan in that media scrum, that it's embarrassing that there's no competition for him and that he's bored. So lo and behold, Adam Cole comes out. During this, MJF goes on, he says so much here, but some of the highlights is that he tells Adam Cole that when CM Punk got up and left him as a kid, that he started watching Ring of Honor. But then he says, I was going to change the channel because Ring of Honor sucks. But it was Adam Cole who got me to not change the channel, got me to be hooked. He then says he mirrored a lot of Adam Cole's path, a lot of his journey in the independent wrestling scene, saying that he studied his tape and all of that. And then he says that he was expecting if one day Adam Cole were to go to AEW, that they would have the rivalry of a lifetime. But then he says that the guy who showed up what happened to him. From here, he goes on to basically belittle him, and he tells them, you sit at home behind your computer playing Twitch, hiding from the sun like Gollum. Meanwhile, Britt takes your balls in her purse, and then he throws a shot at Adam Cole that a lot of trolls online like to throw at Adam Cole, and he says, "Didn't you have the physique of a champion? You're so frail, you make crap whores jealous." Then he says that the company has done everything to try and make him be cool by giving him a reality TV show, etc. And he says, they haven't done anything like that for me. What they do for me is the bell rings. After running down his accomplishments, he tells him, "I have beaten every top guy. What makes you think that you're going to beat me? I heard a rumor that a certain individual in Titan Towers didn't think that you had top guy potential, and that individual's name was Vince McMahon." And then MJF says he's a big fan of Vince. The crowd is chanting "F that guy." And this all leads to Adam Cole basically, telling him, "You're the guy that your fiance left you. You're a douchebag, and we should take a piss test, and I'm the one that would pass," insinuating some stuff about MJF. He then goes on to say that no one backstage respects MJF, that everyone hates him and thinks that he's conceited. And then MJF even brings up that he was going to be Keith Lee's manager. And so this all ends with a match that is being made and is taking place next week on Dynamite, an eliminator match between MJF and Adam Cole. So I know I said a lot there, Reg, but let's break this down. How did you feel about the body of this promo between MJF and Adam Cole?
Denise, we can make a super cut of you saying everything you just said about MJF. Like, we can run it back to the Four Pillars match. You're going to go through the same monologue you just said. MJF's going to do the same things you just said. We could go back to CM Punk. MJF's going to do the same thing you just said. Brian, same thing you just said. Every feud that MJF has had this promo. Tired of it. I've heard it. I got it. I see it. He flipped it this time to say that he likes the guy for a lot of it, but it's just it feels like the same promo. It feels like I've seen this promo 30 times. Okay, Adam Cole got him. He said something about his fiance. So did Sammy Guevara. So did CM Punk. So did Bryan Danielson. What, like, it's not even anything. It's like, oh, he said he was on the gas. Who cares, man? These are all wrestling tropes. You guys aren't saying we didn't learn one new fact in this promo. They were just like, Max was just going off on his Jim Cornette, what the fans are saying online on Twitter, like, oh, they'll like this, they'll react to this. Boring. And then Cole came back with the MJF, you're this, you never wrestle, blah, 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 blah. Same old shit. I'm over it. I got it. I don't want to see it anymore, Max. You're better than this, big bro. But the issue here, Denise, is Max knows this 100%. Everything I'm saying right now means nothing because it's all in his little plan. This is how he works his matches. Everything that he did tonight was calculated. He knows that I'm going to say, we've seen this promo again. He knows that everybody's going to say, here goes Max again, because that's how he works his shit. It's just like, all right, bro, come on, man. We could have got to this another way. And I'm tired of this same promo. Give me something else. Darby Allin was doing promos because this guy's a good promo. And I'm like, yeah, I didn't like it.
So did this not do anything for you to get you excited about this matchup?
Don't care. Long hair, don't care. Not at all. Not one bit. Like, it didn't get me to want to see this match because MJF said that he doesn't have a good body and that he was going to be Keith Lee's match. I don't care about any of that. And I like the eliminator match. I think it's like, oh, that's fast. Why are we doing this match? What's this match going to lead to? We got Forbidden Door come up. I would have liked this angle better, being MJF, whoever his Forbidden Door opponent comes out and confronts him, tells him he ain't shit. They get into the why MJF keeps saying that he hates New Japan. He keeps saying that he never watched it and that they're a good little indie. Why didn't that person come out and confront him? Because we're going to do it next week. But we had this bullshit promo for 20 minutes for no reason.
So, Reg, now I knew this was how you felt because, again, I saw your tweets. Love your tweets, by the way.
Thank you.
But I have to say, I completely felt opposite of you, like polar opposite. Now, I get what you're saying because I have heard this about MJF from multiple people that they think that, it's kind of maybe like a one trick pony type of thing where you're seeing the same things over and over from MJF. And is he ever going to bring anything new and this and that? However, every single time, whether he's in there with, CM Punk or Adam Cole, like today, William Regal, whoever it is that he's on these promo wars with, he always sucks me in the way that his storytelling of everything is very captivating to me when he's talking about because he doesn't just like go on a mic and start yelling things, right? Like, he's just like, oh, whatever, right? He tells a story, and for me, that's the thing that works for me with MJF. Now, I know a lot of people are over it or tired of it. You mentioned you're one of those, but I kind of see it as like, how is he going to, like, what story is he going to tell us right now in this promo? And him kind of telling that he mirrored his career after Adam Cole and this and that, and then brought up those tropes. It's like, okay, we were all expecting that. Like, I was waiting. At one point I'm like, MJF saying way too many good things about Adam Cole. When is he going to turn this around?
But then the issue is also MJF is a liar, so all those were lies.
That's true. And we have seen him do that. So yeah, I get you here. But I like it though. I'm like, I like the low-hanging fruit stuff. I like the stories in it. Like, I like to hear these lines where I'm like, ooh, damn.
That's fair. And that's who he's going for. So it worked. It worked. Right. And that's how I don't want to take away from MJF, who is incredible on the mic and can get anybody captivated on any night. Like, he's incredible. Even in this promo, I was like, oh yeah, he's still cooking, but I'm just like, we're seeing it again. It's just like, again, but it's still MJF. He's still incredible. And Adam Cole, I love that he got to get the shine, but it was just like, what are y'all saying? Just fine.
Oh, we got a lot of that. And I know our chat here is split. There are some people that love it, some people that don't. So I love that we're getting two different versions of, how we felt about it. But I got to tell you though, I'm so excited for this feud because I feel like, we were talking about that Jericho Vortex and Adam Cole's not so great match at Double or Nothing with Chris Jericho. And this is, I've been wanting to see the hot feud for Adam Cole, right? The hot thing, the thing that makes me go, that is why I'm a fan of Adam Cole. And obviously he just came back, but this to me feels like the feud that is going to basically catapult Adam Cole to the top once again.
I like it. Yeah, I think that's the best part of this feud, is that they're gonna be great matches. We've seen MJF have great matches. Adam Cole needs that big moment. We've been kind of waiting for it. The reality show was like the catapult to get to this, and I think he's going to excel. They're going to do some more of these promos that I'll probably hate, but every time Adam Cole's going to get more over because, like MJF said, he is really great on the mic. Like, Adam Cole's one of the best when you just like go out there with this mic, dude, and get over this thing. He's going to be able to do that. The matches are going to be great. This is going to bring him up into a higher sphere than he is now. So that's great and all. I just tonight could have did without it.
And also the other pro about this is we mentioned what it does for Adam Cole. I also think this does a lot for MJF too. And the reason for that is, okay, again, going back to Double or Nothing, that 4 Pillars match. Did you, Reg, honestly believe that someone was going to defeat MJF in that match?
No, I didn't. I didn't think anybody was. I think all those guys are great, and I thought maybe if Darby did do it, people wouldn't be so surprised, but I didn't believe in anybody beating MJF that night.
Exactly. So with Adam Cole, MJF, if they do, when they decide to do the title match, I would be like, oh my God, there's a real chance that Adam Cole can actually defeat MJF. And that's what MJF needs in this reign. These hot feuds with guys that you actually buy, that they may actually beat him.
Yeah, true. Because when he wrestled Bryan in the Iron Man match, I actually believe, oh, Bryan could beat this guy. It's Bryan's match. It's an hour. Like, there's no way MJF could beat this guy. Even the CM Punk's match, it's like Max is going to get outclassed by his little hero over here. And then the 4 Pillars, it was just like, oh, Max is going to cook these guys on the mic and then cook these guys in the ring. They ended up having a great match regardless of that. But yeah, this time it's like, yo, Adam Cole could be AEW World Champion. We wouldn't be surprised at all if at the end of this, Adam Cole's holding up the AEW World Championship. So it's good. It's going to be fun.
I wouldn't hate it. So that's what I'm excited about, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to this. I was a fan of everything here today, and I just feel that it benefits both guys. But we got so many thoughts on this. People are sending in their super chats. Jake Salazar says, Righteous Regis Philbin. Oh my God, that's a tongue twister. Jake also sends in another one saying Ring of Honor sucks is a nasty.
That's probably what it is. I'm probably just projecting. He insulted one of my favorite promotions of all time, and I'm just projecting. Like, don't you talk like that about Ring of Honor, Max, you son of a gun.
Nick Beasley Wrestling says, do you think we get MJF versus Adam Cole at Forbidden Door? I'm going to say no. I would feel that would be more of like an all-in type of match.
Yes, agreed. I think they're going to, next week is probably going to lead to who we know MJF's opponent is. They're going to do the match at Forbidden Door. And then, yeah, just like Denise is saying, probably all in or all out. One of those, one of the big shows in the summer that's not Forbidden Door.
Because let's not forget that MJF also said that, New Japan also sucks. So we got to get somebody from New Japan that's like, hey, buddy, you said we suck. Well, let me show you something.
Right.
Jake Salazar sends in a super chat saying, TK should feed MJF to Minoru Suzuki as punishment for always acting a fool. I mean, obviously keep the title, but also get the ever-loving piss beat out of him. I think everybody would enjoy that. Just seeing Minoru
would
Suzuki,
like that a lot.
just like him, like, with the facials and everything. Oh my God. Same thing with like Tomohiro Ishii. Like if he were to go in there with freaking MJF and just fucking hand him the business. Ooh, that would be some good stuff there.
Right.
Heidi Ho says, sounds like this promo was basically a replay of the Jim Cornette experience. I love it.
I didn't say all that.
Uriel and Darrow says, Reg speaking facts. Jake Salazar says, in my opinion, MJF hasn't had a great feud with promo matches. Let me restart. He says, in my opinion, MJF hasn't had a great feud with promo matches and build since CM Punk at Revolution last year. I disagree. You just mentioned Bryan Danielson.
The Bryan stuff was really good, I thought. Yeah.
I agree with you on that one. Christopher Marino says, I love you, Denise, but you are an easy mark. You love insults and they get you every time. I'm sorry. I do. That's like the point, right? Like they're going to get you to like react. You know what? I'm a mark for low hanging fruit. You know what? Put it on a t-shirt. I don't care.
Yeah, exactly. Every time he makes this WWE reference, he knows exactly who's going to like this. And Denise is like, yeah, get him MJF. That's it. It's great.
Hey, I know what I like. At least I'm going into this knowing what I like. Because,
and we should not stop people from being fans and enjoying what they like, even though people think I do that on Twitter. I love it. I want Denise to enjoy all the low-hanging fruit. I want MJF to go all the way to the bottom with this shit. Bring up Vince McMahon of all people on the show again. Yeah.
I know. I love stuff like that. When I'm like, is he going to say it? Is he going to say it? Is he going to say Vince? And then he goes, Vince McMahon. And I'm like, he said it.
So easy.
I'm here for the clickbait words, by the way. You know why, Reg? Because I'm the Hollywood sicko.
Yeah, it's true. That is very true. Get your
F,
star.
I know, right? Amir F sends in a super chat saying, prediction, Cole beats MJF next week. Then they open the first episode of Collision for the title. Ooh, I like that prediction. I don't hate it.
Interesting. I mean, they just announced the main event of Collision. I don't know if they would bring that. But I don't know. That's a pretty good idea. I hadn't thought of that. That's a way to sell this show too, because you don't want to have one big match. You want to have as many big matches as you can have. And starting the Collision show out with the AEW World Championship is a pretty good look. So
it is, but they can also save it too, because CM Punk, I think, is big enough to get them eyeballs,
Very true. Very true.
Leonard Aarons III says, with Cole up now, there leaves 3 names on MJF's championship manifesto: Claudio, Hangman Page or Hanger? Sorry.
Yeah, Hanger. That's what he meant.
Sorry. And Eddie Kingston. Love the promo. Surprised we're getting it next week in the Eliminator match. Ospreay was right about Canadian.
Ospreay was going in. I can't say that. I have some Canadian friends. Canadians are great people. Bret the Hitman Hart's one of the greatest of all time. You're wildin'.
I only hear great things about Canadians, so I got nothing to add, but I don't have any personal friendships with anybody who's Canadian, so I can't give too many details. Jake Salazar says, Denise, did you see that Felon is on Rampage? What are we talking about here?
On Rampage.
What did I miss? Is this a D's Nuts joke? Fallon, Rampage, D's Nuts. I feel like this is a D's Nuts jokes because Jake Salazar is known for doing those jokes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm not falling for that, Jake.
Not today, not today. All right, so all right, now let's go ahead and kind of rewind a little bit. Like I said, there's
Mm-hmm.
just so much to talk about here today. Let's get into a match that I thought was an absolute banger, and we kind of knew that it was going to be based on their interactions as the final two at the battle royale in Double or Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Orange Cassidy and Swerve Strickland. I said this on Twitter, but they are like peanut butter and jelly. They just
Yeah.
go. This was for the AEW International Championship. There was so much great stuff that we got here. I'm talking like DDTs from Orange Cassidy to the outside in the ring. Swerve always goes out there and tries something new. So we were getting to see some of that. Some really fun stuff here. All of these near falls back and forth. And the ending saw Swerve tried to cheat by pulling the tights of Orange Cassidy when he rolled him up, and then Orange Cassidy returned the favor, but the referee didn't see it, so Orange Cassidy ends up getting the win. Cheats, but it's kind of justified because Swerve basically tried it too.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people on Twitter, Reg, that I saw that were kind of saying like, "Hey, I wanted Swerve to kind of win this match." Were you expecting a title change here, or because things have just been going so strong with Orange Cassidy, were you not expecting it?
Yeah, I was in the middle because I was like a lot of people. I want Swerve. That's the homie. Like, he's been doing great. All the matches that he's been having have been amazing. But the run that Orange Cassidy has been on is pretty insane. And I love the recent string of the way that he's ending his matches because he's so beat up. He can't use his regular special moves. Like the Orange Punch hasn't been as strong because his hand's been hurt and he hasn't been using the beach break. Doesn't really hit as great because his body's all banged up. He could barely like the one he hit on Swerve wasn't the best because his body's all beat up. And they're telling a great story from week to week with this guy. And it's like Swerve needs to have a championship, could be that championship, but I didn't think today was the day to do it. And I love the finish of Orange reversing him, pulling the tights. I think it shows that Orange is getting desperate with this championship. He's like, I need to use any tactic I can do to keep this because I'm banged up and Tony Khan's not going to stop throwing opponents at me. So I got to figure out every way to get out of this and to figure it out against somebody who they got on commentary, Swerve, as like being a smart guy, knowing how to work every angle in the match. And for him to get outsmarted, I think was a great way to finish the match.
Yeah, I love this. And I think that these two guys, like, they're a match made in heaven in terms of like in-ring chemistry. And somebody mentioned, like, dude, Orange Cassidy has a lot of great in-ring chemistry with a lot of guys. But I think Swerve kind of stands out a little bit more. So maybe it's recency bias. I don't know. But
Orange is on the run. Like I talked about on Twitter very recently, when we get this PWI 500 talk going, it's like Orange has a very strong case for number one, like as strong as any year ever. Like, if we break down how many title championship defenses he's had, I think this is maybe 24. This is 24th or the 25th one that he had today since October. And it's like, yo, this is a crazy run. He's had more than all the world champions at this point. And every match has been different. They've been with amazing opponents. They've been great. Near falls are insane. Orange Cassidy looks like the best in the world after every one. It's like, this is strong. It's going to be a tough battle going into this very soon because Kenny Omega has just been ridiculous. It's going to be hard. Roman Reigns. Yeah, I know. It's going to be a tough.
Oh, we're getting into a whole other territory there.
I'm just like, yo.
I will say this though. I feel bad that I wanted Jeff Jarrett to defeat Orange Cassidy when they had their match. I take it back. I'm happy that Orange Cassidy continued on and pressed on.
Could you imagine, Denise, if this whole thing was just ended by Jeff Jarrett?
I know. It was just, it was just one of those days. But hey, Demon Murder. Thank you so much to Demon Murder for sending in not one but two super chats as well. I didn't write anything, but thank you so much regardless. You guys have no idea how far these go. Leonard Aarons III sends one in saying, "This is my Orange Cassidy appreciation post. Excellent match. Ridiculously great run as champ. I'm calling it now. All Out Orange Cassidy versus ? For the AEW World Title. Book it."
Interesting. I don't know if it'll be so soon. Yeah, pretty soon. I don't like he's going to be defending his own championship at All Out probably at this rate.
Jake Salazar sends in a super chat saying, I did see that subtle call out of Zack Sabre Jr. with that submission Orange Cassidy had on Swerve at the beginning of the match. And also that was his pick, by the way, Zack Sabre Jr. when he was asked about possible dream opponents at Forbidden Door. So, I mean, I don't know what more Easter eggs you need than that.
Right.
Demon Murder sends in a super chat. Thank you so much to Demon Murder, who says all of Orange's matches are epic. You want to know why? Because orange juice is really good.
Okay.
I know. It's another stupid joke. I need to stop. Why am I doing this, Reg?
All right.
I bring it upon myself. I'm sorry. When did I turn into a terrible dad making dad joke person?
It's all the podcasts, and you just keep talking and talking. You unlock something that was in there. It wasn't supposed to be for years, but you talked through all those years, and now we're here. So.
Yeah, now that all that's left is dumb stuff. Jake Salazar says legitimately Orange Cassidy is wrestler of the year. Also adding, look, Reg, there will be no King of the Mountain. Welcome to Planet Jarrett.
Y'all are sick, man. Jeff Jarrett keeps showing up and keeps getting these matches. Now he's getting his wife a match. I'm like, this guy is the biggest finesser in the biz. He's like, yo, do you want a match too, babe? Come to work.
She got one of the biggest moments on freaking Double or Nothing, and the fans like freaking popped for that like massively. Shit, I stood up and I was like, I stood up from my seat during that.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, it definitely shifted the tide. We were there in the crowd, like the show was going fine, but then when that happened, it was like, oh shit, we're really in this. And like, so shout out to Karen for that.
Jake
Salazar. I just shouted out at Karen. That's crazy.
I know. I was thinking that too right now.
That's
I was
wild.
like,
I'm sorry. Saying that out loud, I was like, oh, that feels weird.
It was like me saying Reggie.
Yeah, exactly. I felt like that. I was like, oh, I don't know if I should say that out loud. Starting calling you KJ at this point because
I do feel bad for anybody that's named Karen because it's like now your name is like, you know, it's kind of I would hate it if like a Karen was a Denise, you know?
Yeah, exactly. You would have to change your name. I would totally change my name.
I would change my name too, honestly, to like anything else. Anything. I don't care. I would change it to Katrina or what other K names are there for girls? Kelly.
Kate.
Anything.
Shout out to Kate. Yeah, something.
There you go. Kate as well. Anything. Jake Salazar says Denise took Will's place of corny jokes. You know what? I do blame Will for this.
I mean, some points are being made here. Some of that just transferred onto you. Will was like, all right, I'm out. I have to distribute some of my things. He distributed a couple of things to me and Phil. He distributed that to you. Like,
I got the corny dad jokes.
Okay. You grabbed from the pot and that's what you brought back. It's okay.
Oh, it's almost like when they put all of these things like in a little piece of paper and you wrap it up, you put it in a cup and then you pull out what you get.
Everybody's like, grab one and you're like, corny jokes. Oh, cool. Thanks.
I hate myself. Drew Ninja 77 says Orange Cassidy is current wrestler of the year. We got a couple of people saying that. Jake Salazar says Scott Steiner versus Wardlow, special guest referee Jeff Jarrett.
Classic Jake being a sicko. What is that? Why?
Wait,
next you're gonna say Goldberg.
You wouldn't want to see any of those Scott Steiner versus Wardlow or Goldberg.
You want to see Scott Steiner versus Goldberg?
I'm here for both of them. I'm here for both of them. I am with special guest referee Jeff Jarrett.
Ew, why do you want to see that? That's a WCW Saturday night match from 1999. I don't want to see that.
You don't want to know. You want to know why I would want to see it? Because people would be talking about it.
Okay, I see.
I like things that make people talk.
I see what's going on here. I know what I see. I see your game, Denise. I see your game. You like it. You like the viral moments. You like the things like that. Okay.
Yes, I do love the viral moments. Like, you know for a fact, if next week Goldberg debuted in AEW and this video was titled Goldberg debuts in AEW, there would be a shit ton of people in here going, oh my God, Goldberg debuted in AEW. Why? Because people love that type of stuff. And even if they dislike it, they love to talk about the things that they dislike.
Why are you putting this energy in the air, Denise? Why you're saying Goldberg and AEW at the same time?
I have a feeling we're gonna see it. Freaking Tony Khan had nothing but great things to say about Goldberg.
Yeah, he was like, me and Goldberg are friends at this point. He was pretty excited about it.
Dude, he was like really going to town. I was like, okay, damn. I didn't realize they were that good of friends. Right? Shit.
Do you guys talk every day at this point? What's going on?
He was like, we have so much in common. We love football. And I'm like, you know what? He's right, actually.
Like, you met my dad. We were having a great time at the game. I'm like, yo, you guys went out on a date.
Oh man, if you guys haven't seen that press conference, by the way, and all, there's so much that we allude to from those press conferences because you get some news, but some newsworthy stuff from there. You can check them out here on the channel. Taylor Cannon says, "I was so sad when Orange Cassidy versus Swerve ended. It was so good. It was one of those fight forever matches."
I don't think it's over. That's the thing. I don't think this is the last time that we're gonna see Swerve and Orange Cassidy in there. This ending was like Swerve's gonna have a like, you didn't really beat me, you did this. So like, I think we're gonna be continuing it. So don't be too sad.
I hope you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Jake Salazar says Jeff Jarrett should bring main event Mafia to AEW, but replace Booker T with Stokely.
I'm getting out of this chat. Y'all are nasty. Main event Mafia, Jeff Jarrett.
Demon Murder says, let's see what we got here. Raw era was viral moments every episode for years.
Honestly, you know, and when I used to watch in 1998, it would end with the viral moment. The next day, we'd all be talking about it at school. It wasn't like, you know, it wasn't like social media, but it was like real life social media. So, you know, okay.
Maybe, do you think, because I remember like fifth grade was the one that I remember the most, which was when the ring broke with Brock Lesnar and Big Show and all of that. That was the one that I most remember when I think of like viral moments and in school, because that was the day that I realized that I wasn't the only person who watched wrestling.
Right.
And all of a sudden I'm like, wait, you guys were all fans and you guys were all treating me like shit for being a wrestling fan? Okay,
that was always a pivotal moment. Mine's was, I'm a little bit, like I said, 1998. So like when kids started coming to school with DX and Austin 316 and NWO shirts, and I was like, wait a second, I thought I was the big nerd because I liked wrestling, and now all of a sudden wrestling's cool. So it's been waves like that for many years. And yeah, it used to be that it was word of mouth talked about, but now we just all tweet about it.
Exactly. So maybe because we're not tweeting about it, it's like, oh, we don't show up to, and I'm not going to show up to work. Like if I worked in an office, I ain't going to show up and be like, oh my God, did you see that MJF Adam Cole promo? I would look like
that's not water cooler talk, Denise.
It's not. Every time, by the way, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate to this, but anytime anyone brings up wrestling or they find out that you're a wrestling fan, the first thing that they always tell me is there's two things. Oh, you're a girl and you like wrestling. And the other one is, oh yeah, I used to watch wrestling back in the day. You know, Stone Cold, either they mention Stone Cold and The Rock, or they mention the Macho Man, the Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan. They don't mention anybody else. That's
if I had a nickel for every time someone says I used to watch that, I'd have 5 million nickels at this point. I've heard it so many times throughout my life. It's crazy. People always want to tell us that. And I'm happy that they stopped with the, and you know, it's fake, right? Because that doesn't usually come up anymore, which is great to live in a space, because that used to always be the first question. I'd be like, oh, I like wrestling. I'm 13. And then my grandma or someone be like, you know, it's like, why are you ruining this illusion for me, Grandma? That's rude. I want to be in on this.
It's still real to me, damn it.
It's still real to me, damn it.
Every time. But yeah, I agree. Like, I'm so happy, by the way, that we don't get that much anymore. Right. And like my whole thing, whenever people bring that up, I'm like, I feel like I have to go into this whole explaining mode.
I don't want to go into the big monologue about you watch Marvel, it's the same, but because they don't want to hear it, they don't care. But it's the same, you guys. Jeez.
I go into the way that I describe it. I'm like, oh well, it's an art form. I hate myself whenever I have to go out and explain it.
Like glasses just appear out of the sky in your face, and you're like,
a monocle. Just a monocle.
Let me tell you,
it is an art form. These are athletes; they train for years and years. You can get hurt.
Oh man!
But yeah, it pisses me off though. By the way, so yeah, if anybody's ever gotten the, you know, it's fake, right?
Nah.
Send them over here. Jake Salazar sends in a super chat saying I'd legit pop for Goldberg versus Wardlow. You see what I mean?
I would too. Damn it.
Reg, what the hell?
It would be fun. I don't know. What do you want?
Gave a whole speech.
I don't know. I'm a hypocrite. It would be fun. Wardlow and him just crashing. Goldberg comes out with a bloody head from hitting his head on a locker before the match. Come on, dude. No, I just like, honestly, the thing that it is, people are going to be like, here he goes again. But like the way that WWE used Sting and the way that AEW used Sting, I'm like, I think that Tony Khan would know like the limits that go, like he wouldn't never make that Goldberg and Undertaker match. Like he's going to put these people in the best positions, because that's what he's done for Sting the whole time. Like we've been loving Sting matches because he's been put in the best position. He's been put in these multi-man matches, he's been put in positions to look like a great, cool legend. And I think that's what would happen and why I wouldn't hate it. I don't want to see it. Goldberg, stay your ass at home because this is Team Bret Hart forever. But, I wouldn't be mad at it.
Man, Reg, I want you to make the I'm a hypocrite t-shirt, or like that needs to be your slogan.
It is what it is, man. I'm sorry.
Jake Salazar says, last one, Reg. I want Hobbs to join Team TNA.
All right, just get him out of here. He's done for the night. That's it. It's a wrap for you. Come on.
Meet Norma sends in a super chat saying, what's good, Reg and Denise? I'm late, but wanted to show some love. Going to Dynamite next week. Meet and greet for those in the DMV.
Yep. Big show over there. Meet, because his name's Meet Normus.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, what's happening? DMV. Hold on, where are they at next week?
They're in Washington, D.C., but that's like what they call it, the DMV.
Wait, what? I didn't know.
You don't know that? Yeah.
No,
that's
explain.
Like they call Washington, D.C., the DMV. It's the area. It's the representation, all kinds of things about it. It's going to be in Washington, D.C. next week. There's a very big show. I don't know the specifics on it because I'm not from the DMV, but I know that's what they call it. I have a lot of friends out of there. There's a lot of very cool things, and I still want to make a trip out there one day. That'd be dope.
Bro, I was thinking they're gonna do something at the department.
You thought like the DMV with your cars.
Like, that doesn't make any sense. They're gonna do a meet and greet at the DMV. What the?
What?
I'm sorry.
Meet Kris Statlander at the 3rd Street DMV next week.
Oh God, then poor people. If the meet and greet was at the DMV,
oh no,
everybody would be in line forever. Be like, take a number.
Wow, that sounds terrible. Yeah.
Oh man. Corey MacArthur says, I agree with Reg. Got your name right this time. LOL. Swerve needs a championship, and hopefully that will come soon. Goldberg and AEW would be dope.
See, we have to stop. There's too much of this Goldberg energy in the air. Somebody's gonna smell something, somebody's gonna call him, and he's gonna show up and he's gonna spear and jackhammer a bunch of people. And we're gonna be like, damn, that was cool. I know, I see what you guys are saying, man. Whatever.
Reg, I know you're going to go nuts with this one. Richard Martinez says, used to say wrestling is art. Now I say it's cinema. Oh, I read your tweets on this.
Not falling for that. Next question, please. Why are y'all doing this to me? Come on.
It's funny because in Twitter world, if you give your opinions, everybody trashes you on Twitter. In podcast worlds, people want to hear you say, like, tell me why you don't think it's, cinema. Tell me why you blah, blah, blah. And so I find that funny. But I know that there's a lot of people out there that find it silly to refer to pro wrestling as cinema. So take that for what you will. I'm undecided, to be honest. When it comes to that, I'm a little bit undecided.
I think the people where people are getting it confused with me is they think I'm saying that it sucks. I'm just saying refer to it as what it is. Like, it is great. The bloodline shit is cool. The last week's angle, I was like into it, but it's not cinema. It's pro wrestling. Like, as somebody that's been a pro wrestling fan my entire life, I want people to use descriptors that describe pro wrestling. Like, that shit was heat. That shit was this. That shit was this. Not it was cinema, because it's not cinema. It's professional wrestling. That's it. But if you draw it, I'm going to go on record. If you want to call it that, call it that. I don't care. I'm still going to shame you, and we're going to fight, and I don't care, because it's not cinema. It's pro wrestling.
See, I love your perspective on this, because I don't disagree with it. And I don't mind when it doesn't bother me when people say it's cinema, but when you get into the real logistics of it all, it's like, we ain't going to see Roman Reigns get nominated for, an Oscar, and he's going to, win over freaking Brandon Fraser and freaking win.
Yes, that Brandon Fraser just like dedicated 6 months of his life to being a fat person or something. And then here comes Roman Reigns from Friday Night Smackdown. They're going to be like, from where? What movie did he did? Oh, he did Smackdown on Fox. And they're going to be like, what is Smackdown on Fox? I didn't see that movie this year.
Roman Reigns, I want to thank the Academy for acknowledging me.
Oh, come on.
Everybody goes out there and thanks the Academy. I want to thank the Academy.
for acknowledging me. Thank you. That's
Chi-Town Spur says, I was one of the it's fake right kids in school, and I've never been a bigger fan than I am now. Funny how it all worked out. That, my friend, is karma.
There
Karma
you go.
came
Came
back to you.
on your ass, Chi-Town. No, for real. That's what you call growth. You know, you said it and then you were like, actually, this is pretty fun. It is fake, but I like it. And so, yeah, there we are.
I love it. I love it. Now your punishment is being a wrestling fan. Congratulations.
Karma got you. Now you're watching podcasts with two people talk about it.
Demon Murder says Team Undertaker forever. Question check mark.
What Undertaker got to do with this?
I don't know.
Oh, maybe because I said the Goldberg thing. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Jake Salazar says, in all honesty, replace the guns with Hobbs. Let Hobbs be unstoppable powerhouse monster of BCG. Leonard Aarons III sends in a super chat saying, throwing this out there now, Jay, Juice, the Guns, and Joe and Bullet Club Gold. Who says no? I don't know how. I'm not that big of a fan of the Guns. I've tried, been there, tried that. It's not clicking for me. I'm sorry.
You didn't like the end of this show?
I hate being a hater. I did not like this. No, and we might as well talk about that now because I almost forgot we had to talk about this.
Yes, the end of this show.
We saw Ricky Starks versus Jay White, and Jay White. This was a fun match, by the way. But Jay White gets the victory, and this was he was helped out by the Gun to go in there and take out Starks. Ref never sees it because there had been a ref bump prior to this.
Denise does not like this.
This is where we're at right now. I'm sorry. Like, I don't want to be a hater because I hate being a hater. And like, I'm always like, I'm never confident when I dislike something. Mm-hmm. I don't feel confident telling people this is why I dislike it. Sometimes you just dislike something. It's not for you. And I don't have some brilliant dictionary explanation for why I'm not a fan. I'm just not a fan.
Not for you. Not for you. That's exactly how I feel about the Guns. So I felt the same way. When they came down there, it was just like, I tweeted LOL because it was like, there's some wrestlers that I don't want to see them ever. I don't care what they do. Like Baron Corbin is in this list, The Miz.
Oh, I saw all the hate you got, by the way, from the Miz fans on Twitter.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry I even said that out loud. Baron Corbin, The Miz, Jake Hager, and the Guns. Like, not like I don't like them. This is wrestling. I don't want to see them. This is like, I'm going to turn the channel when they're on, and I don't turn the channel from any wrestling. And that's where the Guns lie for me. I just don't I don't even want to get it. Like, that's where I land with these guys. So this tonight, I was like, throw it away. Next one. Tender swipe left.
You're like, I don't even want to give it a chance.
No chances from me. I'm out, dude. I don't want it.
Another super chat here from Jake who says, nah, Cinema Man Punk is back with FTR on Collision.
Jake, you are gone.
He also says Hobbs and Goldberg for tag champs. And then he also adds, this was all over Reg. They was all over Reg for being real. They
was on my ass. Boy, I had to disconnect from the internet. I was like, I'm getting off of here. I don't know why.
Oh, the cinema tweets?
Denise, how do you deal with this?
Oh, it's simple. I mute everybody.
That's it. Just mute. You don't see nothing. Just mute. Mute.
No, there's times where like I know like someone will show me like, hey, did you see? Like, I didn't notice there was one thing that I posted. I'm not going to say what it was because I don't really feel like bringing that negativity in here. But there was one thing that I posted that was like so innocent and so fun. And someone turned it into like the most pervert thing and like the most they turned it into a pervert thing. And they also turned it into like a tribalism thing. And I had no idea about it. I found out probably a week later. Now, keep in mind, this had been quote retweeted, and there was dozens and dozens and dozens of comments. I had no idea. I only found out because someone told me, and I was like, oh, wait, that's on my Twitter account? Yeah, that's on your Twitter account. But actually, Twitter's really good at not showing me bullshit.
Same here. Only exactly same thing that you described. Only time I see anything about me is when somebody was like, did you see this? I'm like, no, I didn't see it for a reason. So maybe our friends, we didn't see it the first time and we don't want to see it the second time. I don't want to see that. Like, people are talking shit about us. Cool. Keep it over there. I'm not gonna, because if you show me, I'm gonna go fight and I don't want to go fight. So just leave it.
Exactly. I have new rules for Twitter. Before I used to fight and argue with people every now and then. I never argued about wrestling, by the way. Let me rephrase that. I don't care if people have different wrestling opinions, but when people are coming out here and calling you all these terrible things, and
when
yeah,
they
you know,
start making it personal, it's like, all
right.
right, yeah.
Right. When it's directed specifically towards you. And I've gotten to the point where I'm like, ooh, I got too many responsibilities now. And I have to uphold, this, reputation or whatever. I can't be lowering myself anymore. And so I don't respond to things like that. My new rule is I'm only ever going to respond to something if it really calls for me to have to respond to that. Right. And if not, then just let it be because you can't argue with people.
Especially these people. There are some characters out there, character selection. So yeah, I'm just gonna start taking your advice, and that because none of it does anything. Like even if you get a person, it's like, oh, I burned them, but who cares? And so
it doesn't. I feel like at the end of the day, you lose more by responding to the troll tweets than they do because they go for them. It's like, oh, hell yeah, I got a reaction out of Reg. I got a reaction out of Denise and they're looking for clout and you lose more because it's like your peers are seeing that your peers,
everybody's seeing us over there being like, oh, fuck you guys, blah, blah, blah. And like, that's not good for anybody.
It's not. And so, I had to, I've learned a lot of Twitter lessons in my lifetime now. Chi-Town Spurs sends in a super chat saying that new bout Roman has looked straight out of The Mummy Returns. Brendan Fraser should totally go after it. Oh man, does it really? I mean, I've seen The Mummy Returns and I love the ride at Universal Studios, but that wasn't what popped into my mind.
Just like the gold background looks like a prize that Indiana Jones would be trying to go and get or something, I get it.
Bo Booth sends in a super chat saying, I have really yelled out, it's not fake, it's performance out in a crowded room. Oh, bless your heart, Bo. Bless your heart. Demon Murder says, wrestling fan since the 80s, and I love it forever. I feel like most people that I know that are wrestling fans have been since they were a kid. It's a lifelong thing. Once you get stuck to it, you ain't leaving.
Right. That's something that's how it was for me. Because some of the people that'll say I used to watch it when they were young, like they fell out of it. But for a lot of us, it's just like never fell out of it. That's what people will ask me, like, you still watch it? I'm like, yeah, it just never stopped. I don't know.
So I have something really embarrassing to say, and maybe people will find this funny. But my husband was, at work, and his boss was like, his former boss, no longer his boss, but his boss was bragging because his wife is an investigator. And he was kind of like, making her like really building her up. And I told my husband, I was like, ooh, you're going to have to sit this one out, honey, because your wife is a wrestling YouTuber. Like his wife's an investigator. Honey, you're going to have to sit this one out and take the L. Don't even
like,
say
hey,
shit.
What does your wife do? Oh, she talks about dudes and women and people in tights wrestling. Sometimes they're in Japan. Sometimes they're in Mexico. There's all kind of stuff going on. Wait, with like Hulk Hogan and Ultimate Warrior? Yeah, like that.
It's like true. It's like super random. Like it's embarrassing, but embarrassing in a good way, right? Chi-Town Spurs says, can't fire a bullet without guns.
Here y'all go.
Jake Salazar sends in another super chat saying, how Reg feels about the guns. I feel that way about, he calls them demonic. Mysterio. That guy sucks in absolutely everything. Wrestling, get this man off TV forever. Hey, the man gets good heat, guys. I've turned the cheek on. Or is that how you say it? Turn the cheek on? I've turned the something on Dominic.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. All right. Jake Salazar also says Toru Yano versus Jeff Jarrett at Forbidden Door. Dude, the comedy that would be.
That's a good match for Jeff. Not anything hot for a championship like he's been getting every pay-per-view. Crazy.
And Demon Murder says goofies in every group, just got to laugh at them. Yeah, that's really all you got to do. True. All right. Oh, thank you. Sterling 273 says turn the other cheek.
Yeah, that's
what all right. I'm like, turn the cheek. There's something missing in there. All right. And let me just kind of get into some of the other things that we need to talk about for AEW really quickly. Blackpool Combat Club versus Chaos. We had Bryan Danielson on commentary. The Bullet Club wins. We then had the Bucks and Hangman Page issue a challenge for a 6-man tag team match next week against Moxley, Claudio, and Wheeler Yuta, which Danielson ended up accepting on the behalf of the BCC. Any thoughts on this, Reg?
The match next week is going to be super hot. I'd love to see the Young Bucks back. We're seeing them back with Adam Page. People have been wanting that for a long time. They're continuing this Blackpool Combat Club versus the Elite. We're hoping to see some other matches come out of this. This is a great way to start it. I'm excited about this.
I agree. Jungle Boy, Jack Perry teaming up with Hook to take on Preston Vance and Jarlistico. They win this match. Jungle Boy and Hook have a nice fun. I love seeing them get the win like together at the same time with their own like move set. That was really cool. We saw a brutal like T-bone suplex spot from Hook, which he took a nasty bump on the fucking table. Like at one point, I'm like, did he even land on the table? It looks so ugly. But it wasn't until they showed the other angle where I'm like, okay, he actually did land on the table a bit.
Right. Yeah. This match was pretty brutal. Preston Vance had a juicer gusher. Like there was blood everywhere. The Hook was slipping and all kind of, this was kind of chaos. Like I didn't expect it to be so chaotic, but you know, those damn Roosh and his brothers and those Rudo luchadors, they just are just so angry and mean, and they want people to be bloody. They want to see blood. They want destruction. This match was that super fun.
Love that. Yeah, it was quick and fast. I liked it. Yeah. Takeshita defeats Demon Ace, and this was really just Demon Ace getting like one strike, and then Takeshita basically ends up hitting him with a running knee strike. End of this match, and Don Callis hits a promo, and in this promo, he's talking. He says that Kenny Omega has been like a cancer in his body, and he goes, "What do you do with cancer? You cut it out. Me and my family are gonna cut the elite out of this company." Once again, he's saying that everything that has ever happened to Kenny Omega is because of Don Callis. And again, he didn't get as much heat as he did in San Diego, but it was still definitely there. How are you feeling about this?
I thought the angle was pretty hot. I like that there's Takeshita. I like the position he's playing. He just sat back the whole time like, I'm gonna beat your ass. Most interesting part about this is Don Callis saying his family. Who else is in this family? Who else are you talking about? Who else is gonna join this little thing? Where's Kenny at? Not to mention the Bucks and Hangman were here today, but we haven't seen Kenny in a couple weeks. He's apparently still in Canada. We're about to be in Canada soon. A lot of interesting things here.
Yeah, I'm curious too. I'm glad that you mentioned the whole family aspect because I'm like, there's two people. I mean, like, yeah, two people in the family, but I'm not going to judge. But like, still, though, when you think of a family, you at least think of like more than five.
A couple, yeah, 4 or 5 at least. Like 2 people, that's like y'all are a duo. I don't know.
Kris Statlander defeated Anna Jay for the TBS Championship, and afterwards, we see Taya Valkyrie is watching on the screen. Any thoughts on this one?
This is just pretty run of the mill. I'm happy that Kris Statlander is going open challenges every week. She's defending it. She's a baby face. She's hot out here. Taya's been really fun. I liked what she did with Jade. She's always a great opponent to have because she's a veteran and she's always a threat for any title. We believe that she can win any championship ever. So having her as opponent is always great.
I want to get your prediction on the 4-way that's taking place on Rampage. So we're going to have Britt Baker versus Sky Blue versus Mercedes Martinez and Nyla Rose take all in a 4-way. And the winner of that is going to face Toni Storm next week on Dynamite. Is there anybody here that you're like, oh, this is the person that's going to win?
I'm Mercedes Martinez just randomly being inserted in this match has me very interested. I'm kind of hoping that she wins it because a match with her and Toni Storm would be pretty fun. But, you know, anytime that Britt Baker's involved in kind of like a number one contender thing, it's hard to count her out of this match. But if it was for me, I'd probably go with Mercedes just because that's a new, interesting match that you could just have on Dynamite next week. That'll be pretty dope.
And it almost feels like they put her in there for a purpose, for a reason.
Right. Yeah. Like it's like, what are you doing here? I'm happy to see you here, but that's pretty random.
But it is hard to not go with, oh, it possibly being Britt Baker, because it's just like, how do you have Britt Baker lose this match? All right. So, and we pretty much went through everything that happened on Dynamite. We are going to go ahead and get into our last super chats here. And this one here is from Jake Salazar, who says, you know, Jarrett was in Bullet Club. I'm just saying. Justin Martin sends in a super chat saying the BCC are my favorite thing in wrestling right now. Everything they say and do is so believable. The Bloodline wishes they were as cool as the BCC. Oh, Justin Martin's about to start some drama. Two totally different things.
That's it. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying nothing.
And last but not least, Jake says, y'all think Don Helps will beat Kenny Omega. Ooh.
I could see that. Going to be interesting to see what they do at Forbidden Door. Is Will Ospreay a part of this family that Don's been talking about? They've been putting out some little teasers, some little Easter eggs.
Man, I can't wait to see that match again, by the way. I'm very much looking forward to that. The last one absolutely killed, and can't wait to see Forbidden Door. At least with the 2 matches that have been announced already, it's things to get excited about.
Yep.
Alrighty, everybody. Dynamite next week. They did announce we're gonna be having MJF versus Adam Cole in the AEW World Title Eliminator match. Toni Storm is gonna defend her AEW Women's Title against whoever wins the Rampage 4-way. We're also gonna be seeing the Mogul Embassy take on Orange Cassidy, Darby Allin, Sting, and Keith Lee. The Young Bucks and Hangman Page will take on Jon Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, and Wheeler Yuta. And then once again, we are 10 days away from Collision. I will be here doing a watch along on June 17th for Collision. And then afterwards, I'll be doing a post show. So you'll be getting, double stuffed episode of Speak Now Pro Wrestling here. So it'll be really fun. And of course, the match that was announced was we're going to be seeing CM Punk and FTR take on Jay White, Juice Robinson, and Samoa Joe for Collision. Reg, I want to thank you so much for really hopping onto this podcast. I literally reached out to you as Dynamite was going on.
Right.
And I was like, man, he's probably not even going to see this message, blah, blah, blah. But thank you so much for doing the show with me. Please let the people know where they can watch you and support you and all of that good stuff.
You can see me every Saturday morning, Grab City Podcast of Phil Lindsay on the Fightful Network, Fightful YouTube, talking about all the things of the week. Tomorrow every Thursday, you can catch me on the Ring of Honor post show with Kate. Also on Wednesdays, I'm with Mike on Indeed, righteousreg.bandcamp.com if you're going to hear some raps. It's going to be some of my raps coming up here in Fight Forever. So get that game. And I'm always around. You can find me on Twitter there. Maybe not as often because it's crazy outside and I want to keep my sanity. Thank you for having me, Denise. This is always, every time we get on the pod, it's just fun and easy. So appreciate
it.
you.
It is. I love it. No, I love your analysis. I've said this to you in person and I'll say it on the air too, but you're my husband's favorite Twitter account, by the way. He always sends me screenshots and I'm like, I saw it already. He's on my timeline. Like, I'm seeing this and you're resending me this.
I love it. Shout out to him, man. Very cool to meet him.
Yeah, really awesome. Guys, you know where to find me, Denise at _Denise Salcedo on all of the social medias. Please make sure to subscribe to this channel. I'm about to hit 113,000 subscribers here. So please join up on here. I'm live Tuesdays for NXT, Wednesdays for AEW, Fridays for Smackdown. I will be here this Friday. And then again, starting June 17th, I will be here for Collision. So thank you guys so much to everybody watching. And we'll catch you guys on the next episode of Speak Now Pro Wrestling. Goodbye, everybody.